Hi everyone. So with Easter coming up, I wanted to talk about something that came up in my coaching call with my Goddess Project clients last night, and that's how to enjoy Easter without the guilt, without the all or nothing blowout, and without feeling like you've undone all your hard work by Tuesday. Because I find this is where so many women get stuck, that it's not actually Easter that's the problem. It's the way we think about weekends like Easter or Christmas or birthdays or holidays. We go in with one of two mindsets. Either we try to be super good or super strict or super controlled, or we go in the other way and think, stuff it, it's Easter, I'll start again next week. And honestly, neither of those approaches really works. And it's why so many women end up stuck in this cycle where every holiday, every dinner out, every social event, or every weekend feels like a setback. It's not because you lack willpower, it's just because you never actually learnt how to navigate these situations in a calm, intentional, sustainable way. And it's one of the biggest gaps that I see. A lot of women know how to manage when and what to do when life is neat and it's predictable and it's routine. Chicken and salad, workouts, lots of water, early nights, that's all great, but real life is rarely neat and predictable. Real life is Easter lunches and chocolate in the pantry and hot cross buns in the kitchen and family events, snacks everywhere, social pressure, tiredness, and that little voice in your head saying you've already blown it now anyway, so who cares? These are the real tests. And this is what we were talking about last night in the Goddess Project, that the women who get results that last, they're not the women who are perfect. They're the women who just learn how to handle these moments differently. That is honestly the difference, because the issue usually isn't the Easter egg. It's not one lunch out. It's not a couple of drinks. It's not one day of eating a little bit differently. It's what happens afterwards that is the issue. It's the guilt. It's the I'll start again on Tuesday. It's the overeating because you think the day is already ruined. It's picking all weekend because you've mentally already written yourself off. That's the bit that does the damage. So I like to use the flat tire analogy. If you got one flat tire, would you get out of the car and slash the other three? Probably not, but that's exactly what some women do when it comes to food. They have one off-plan meal, they eat more chocolate than intended, and suddenly the whole weekend becomes a write-off. And that mindset can keep women stuck for years, and I've seen this time and time again. Because fat loss after 40 is never going to be about being perfect at Easter or on weekends or on holidays or at birthdays. It comes from learning how to stop one indulgent moment turning into 4 days of chaos. That's a skill, right? It's a skill most women have never been taught. We've been taught rules, we've been taught restriction, we've been taught to be good, we've been taught to earn it, burn it off, but we haven't been taught how to make decisions in real life without guilt and without spiraling. So that's what I always say. The biggest gap for most women is not more information. It's not that you need another list of foods to enjoy at Easter, or you need to know exactly how many calories are in that chocolate bunny. It's not that you need a stricter plan or more discipline. It's just that you need a better strategy for real life. Now that said, there are a few simple things that can help over this weekend. So number one, and this goes for all times actually, but particularly on these really social weekends where we can feel like a lot of things are out of our control, we're not in our normal routine. So number one is managing your environment. Because people love to make overeating a willpower problem, but your environment really matters. It makes a difference. So if you're standing next to the food table all afternoon, if you're standing next to the cheese and crackers, mindlessly picking, that's going to make it a lot harder. If there are Easter treats open and visible on the bench all day, that's going to make it harder. If after Easter, the kids' leftover eggs are in the cupboard at your eye level, that's going to make it harder. So sometimes a smarter approach, it's not to rely on discipline. We've only got a limited amount of discipline and willpower per day before that tank is empty. It's to make the environment work better for you. Another strategy that we like to use is keeping some of your anchors in place, not letting Easter and those sort of weekends be a free-for-all. So it's something I coach my clients on all the time. You don't have to be perfect all day long to feel in control, but you can keep a few basics in place. So things like eating proper meals, getting your protein in, getting your fibre in, including fruit and vegetables, moving your body, not for punishment, just because it feels good and it's a good idea in general, and not skipping meals to save up calories and then you end up ravenous at the social event that you go to. Those things, they sound simple, but they make a huge difference to how you feel and how you respond around food. Another really big one here that I like to coach my clients on to is deciding what actually feels manageable for you. For some women, having a moderate amount of treats works just fine. They can enjoy some chocolate, a couple of eggs here and there and move on. For other women, the just have a little bit approach can actually turn into thinking about food all day and picking nonstop, or feeling like you have to finish it to get it out of sight. We've all been there, to finish it, get it out of sight before you can move on. So this is where self-awareness is really important. That matters more than trying to be the perfect eater, because sometimes the most empowering thing is just being honest about what works for you instead of doing what sounds good in theory. I think people who are good at moderation are good at preaching that moderation is the way to go. But if you know in yourself that you are just not able to moderate certain foods, whether that's chocolate or hot cross buns or cheese or alcohol, whatever it is, then having that self-awareness is really powerful, because then we can manage the situation from there. But the bigger point I want to leave with you today is this. If Easter feels stressful around food, if you're feeling a bit of anxiety over it, if you tend to switch between good, quote unquote, and overeating, or if one indulgent meal can derail you for a few days, that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It just usually means no one's shown you how to close the gap between knowing what to do and then doing it in real life when life is not perfect and routine and predictable. And honestly, that's a huge part of what I do with my clients in the Goddess Project. Yes, we talk about calories and protein and training and fat loss and all of those practical strategies. But we also work a lot on the part that actually determines whether those things happen consistently in a busy, messy, social, real life, and how we can help them happen consistently. Because anyone can follow a plan when life is easy, right? When you're just left to your own devices, no one else to worry about, you're in control of everything, following the plan's easy. But that real shift happens when you learn how to stay grounded when life is not easy. So if this topic is hitting home for you, I want you to let this Easter be a chance to practice that. This is what we talked about in our call last night. Use it as an experiment. Let's practice some of these strategies and taking away the all or nothing mindset. So you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be good. You don't need to just write off the whole weekend just because it's Easter. I want you just to think about, just bring some awareness. Notice the patterns. Catch that all or nothing thinking if it rears its head. And just remember that one meal, one treat, or one day, that doesn't define you. It's not going to be make or break when it comes to your results. So that's all for me for today. If that's something you struggle with, just know there's another way to approach it. And I hope this has been helpful. Any questions, let me know. Drop them in the comments. Thanks, girls. Bye.